the Student Management Learning Council have, invited me on this special occasion. Lovely Professional University is one of the very good, and I really appreciate the way the ethos of the universities and the way that the dream of the chancellor and the pro vice chancellor is towards the future of their own university, the students, the faculty members, as well as for the country. So I really appreciate the vision of your university. And with that, I would like to share with you a few of my learnings of life, which I'm sure would be very useful to many of you. And I would request all of you to be aware of what I'm sharing, and then towards the end, maybe we can do interaction, and I'll happy to answer any queries that all of you have. Now, I prepared actually a small presentation, but unfortunately, because I have done FB Live, but I thought that maybe I'll get an opportunity to share PPT. But anyways, so what I want to inform all of you is that you must have heard a lot of brands across the world, and in India also. You name a person or a personality, some feelings start coming in. Similarly, brand also is something which is associated with a person, which brings a feeling towards that. For example, when we take the name of, say, Narendra Modi, then there is particular feeling that comes in. You take the name of Barack Obama, you'll have a separate feeling. I'll take the name of Donald Trump, you will have another set of feelings. And then you take the name of Coke, Pepsi, Thumbs Up, or Nestle, Cadbury. The moment some automobile brand, Mercedes, Land Rover, Jaguar, Audi, BMW, the moment I take the name, you will have certain kind of a feeling inside you. And this is what is, gets associated with the brand. The moment you take a name, the brand, the values starts coming in. So I would like to share with you that just don't think that this is the brand we are talking about is something virtual and outside, but you are also a brand. Lovely Professional University is also a brand, because when I shared with you my feelings towards Lovely Professional University, there's a definition that I create based on my interaction with Lovely Professional University. And therefore, I have an image of the LPU, which I shared with you. Similarly, when you are interacting with anybody, the moment you interact, there is a feeling that comes within you. That feeling can be, positive, that can be negative, that can be something which is very exciting, that can be something which is not so exciting. But that feeling will come with you, and that feeling is something which defines the brand. So the moment you say, Cadbury, something like, oh, let's have chocolate, the feeling of happiness, and that is the surrounding that they have created. So likewise, every brand create a halo effect about what the true brand stands for and why everybody should have it. And so if you have to be really successful in life, then you have to create that brand. I was talking to Dr. Saurabh, and he was sharing about that Shiv Khera came to your college and interacted with you all a few days back. He also created a brand for himself. So the moment you take the name of Shiv Khera, some positive feelings start coming in. So this is where, what happens when somebody takes your name. What is the feeling that is created? I understand you are a student, so you have not worked in corporate world for 20 years and 30 years. So the brand image is yet to be formed. But definitely you are 20-year plus. I believe most of you, you may have an image in your own surrounding, your own family members. And that image is very important, and that will take you or break you. So therefore, the brand is getting formed of every individual all the time. So, and that happens out of what you are doing. What are you acting right now? What is the situation? If the problem comes, how do you handle it? If the situation is very positive, how do you handle it? So all these challenges will come in front of you, and the way that you react forms a brand for you. So I was very fortunate to have been associated with some great brands in the country. I started my career with a company called Escorts post my management degree from University of Allahabad and Munirba. Then I was also, I mean, I worked with Escorts for close to 5 years, and then I moved to a company called Hero. Hero is itself a very big brand in the country, so I learned what is the imagery, how they have created the owners, the munjals, how beautifully they created that imagery that the reaped benefits for generations to come. Then I joined the company called LML. I joined a company called Intex Technologies and the Intex IT and hardware. And then I joined them. We launched electronics. And then I gave the idea to the management to get into telecom. So we created Intex mobile phone division, the telecom division, and I spearheaded. And I I was a business head for that, and then I moved on to Yamaha, and the Yamaha turned around. A lot of people credit me for that turnaround, and basically it is. And what I did over there was just to understand what is the brand and what they are doing, and I saw that there was a mismatch, and therefore what we did as a team that we decided that we'll create that brand image which is internationally in India also, and that is why they had motorcycles by Crux, Gladiator, and some other brands which were launched, which were not very successful. And so we created a imagery where we created a brand of motorcycle. We launched a motorcycle which was internationally very popular. Motorcycle word, they know what this means. We launched those products, and suddenly the imagery changed. For example, like when the products, the Yamaha, when were the leaders of motorcycles in the country. So it was like with RX 100, RD 350, there was nobody, every youth would like to own that brand. And from there, they started struggling when the four-stroke technology came in and two strokes were banned. So virtually their products were not allowed to be sold. And they took a long time for coming back to address the environment issues. And then when they launched the products, the market had changed completely because Hero was dominating and Hero was saying, fill it, shut it, forget it. So which means that you just fill the fuel and then shut the machine and then forget it that you have to refill it again. So that's like a high mileage. And so everybody was talking about high mileage. So the image of Hero was made that way. That's value for money, high mileage. It is fill it, shut it, forget it. Image is still persist. Now, there are many products that came in which would challenge that fuel efficiency also and everything, but they could never beat them because the brand was built. The feeling of the people was that this is the best and that delivers. So if somebody says, I can also deliver, though their product may physically be giving more, but nobody will believe. No, it's not possible. Or there may be certain other things that they will not buy. So Yamaha was also trying to do that they were trying to launch product which was a high fuel efficiency, but the brand of Yamaha was not that. Brand of Yamaha stands for excitement. Brand of Yamaha stands for pace, race, some very good feelings the moment you see the looks of the vehicle. And that is what we changed. We, instead of going after hero products and launching Me Too, we launched R15, Phaser, FZ. Instead of everybody focusing on 100cc, we focused on 150cc and above. And that helped the brand revive and turn around. And thereafter, I joined the company called Polaris, and I spent about 10 years with them, almost near 10 years. And I also worked with the Eicher Polaris joint venture, which launched a small car. And in this 10 years, again, I was trying to build the brand, but the brand which was globally present for like Polaris, if you know, are the leaders in off-road vehicles, all-terrain vehicles, snow scooters. They do very well. So all these product range, but the India market was negligible. And I see the brand of Polaris in US, and if I try to sell the same brand image of Polaris in India, there were very few takers. And therefore, we made a shift in the brand image of India, and we made it more of in US. It is like a more very exciting, very nice product, but more utility. It's like it was not an expensive product. It was like a very competitively priced. And in India, we created a premium image because of many reasons. So those I can explain when I have a class maybe on marketing, then I can explain more in detail. But right now, the imagery was X, and I created a different image altogether in India so that the brand survives in India. Otherwise, that premium image would be very difficult to get markets. And so that is what I created, and it became very successful. Somebody, earlier when I joined, wherever I'll go and I'll say I'm the managing director of Polaris, and people say, "Oh, I know, software company." And then, uh, and in the 9+ years that I worked with them, the more people came to know about the brand Polaris. Then no, this is an American brand. This is a very good product. So that imagery got created, and the brand started doing well in the country. So this is what I wanted to share with you about the brands, how to create a brand, how to deal with the brand, but at the same time, what imagery have you created? So in this process, I also created a brand for myself, that what Pankaj Dubey stands for. Pankaj Dubey stands for X, Y, Z, and those things I kept on doing. Like I was working in companies and doing work for them, but I was also all the time interacting with the youth of the country, giving them, motivating them to achieve their dreams, and interacting with them, giving them practical lessons, and based on all the learnings. Like right now you are a student, so from me being a student to becoming the CEO and managing directors of multinational companies, what I did, what I learned is what I started practicing, and that made a brand for me. Okay, Pankaj Dubey means this. Today there is a name that has got associated, where if I do something, everybody looks forward to it. Recently I started this company, D-Spin Consulting Private Limited, and even before the brand is actually formed, there is an imagery in the market. The company is under registration right now. It is almost through, but it is not complete. The bank account is not open, but the imagery of the brand is already there. That okay, this is the brand, and this is what we can do. And the dream of this company, DSpin, is again to create brands out of nowhere, to create brands to help global brands come to India and how we can support them, and also to create local brands, the brands who are based out of India, how the imagery, how execution can be done so that the brands get emerged of India, the local brands, which can become big globally. So with this background, I would now like to touch upon some of the things that I learned from my life. And I would like to brief you that what I have done, your words become your action becomes your blah, blah, blah. The moment you see a smiling face, how do you feel? And the moment you see a sad face, how do you feel? You know how it happens? It happens because of the thought of that person. That if the person is feeling, oh, I am, very feeling very sad, the word is very bad. So the imagery is created that the word is bad, and therefore the person is sad. And if the imagery is, oh, wow, great, what a great country, what a great place, I am happy, and so there's a smile coming in. Which person you would like to associate with? With the person who's happy or the person who's always sad? I mean, obviously, everybody knows that, you'll be associating with somebody who's happy and smiling. And therefore, and how this smile comes or the sadness comes, it comes from your thought. So don't blame others for what's happening. It is basically you and your thought which is creating the happiness or sadness. If there is a particular place or particular people that you get a lot of sadness always, then you have to look at how do I change the other person? And if the other person cannot be changed, how do I block that person so that he doesn't interfere in my aura, in my surroundings, and I feel happy, and I focus on what I dream gets achieved. So number one is that your thoughts are very important, and thoughts becomes reality. Number two, I believe that each one of you are a form of energy, and that energy is abundant. It is all under control of your own thoughts. So if you can just unleash your thought and make your thought and dream big, that can become a reality. And if you unleash your thought to say, oh, nothing can be done, that will also become a reality. So everything comes from your own thought, and you are a form of energy. And by the definition of energy, energy cannot be created and cannot be destroyed. This has been very well captured by religion, almost all religion, including in Hinduism we call it Atma, and Islam it was called as Ruh. In Christianity it's called as soul. So all these terms that I've used is depicting that you are a form of energy, and energy cannot be created and cannot be destroyed. So therefore, you cannot be created and cannot be destroyed. You are an energy. You will just change form from one form to another, but you will remain forever. You were there forever, and you will remain forever. So if you know these basic, because if you don't know yourself, you will not be able to unleash your potential. And that is why I'm giving you this background that who you are and what you can do. Basically, once you know that you are a form of energy, then you have to look at what you can do in your life, how you can change things, how you can adapt to the circumstances, and deal with the situation. So in the current scenario, there is a lockdown, there is, a total problems everywhere. Corona is spreading every day. You listen to newspaper, listen to news, you read newspapers, and what happens is that you feel dejected, or you feel like let's do something. So it's again, how you're reacting to it. you know you get to know these realities, that so this person died, that person died, so many cases happen. But then what can we do about it? We can say that, oh, there are like 6 lakhs people, nearly 6 lakhs people who have died globally. Or we can say, we had 94 lakh people or 95 lakh people who got infected, but they are saved. Or maybe the ratio 95 to 5, that's roughly internationally 5% people have actually died because of this corona disease. So I'm not saying to underplay this. I'm not saying that this is something where you can become very relaxed and start going all around. You have to take all precautions. You have to do the best that is under the circumstances, but you have to also check your thought. What's your thought? Yes, you have to protect yourself, you have to protect your family, but at the same time, you have to think of opportunity. Many of you might say that, how can we think of opportunity? We are going to pass out. The people who had jobs, they are losing the jobs. How will I get a job? Again, the situation which are there in front of you is either you were working in a corporate and you lost the job, or you were working in a corporate, your salary got reduced by 30% to 50%, or you are looking for an opportunity and there is no job. So I'll like to explain that how you can think, from your thought process, how can you be more positive towards every of these situations. Number one, that you as a student, you are not getting an opportunity or the jobs that you thought that you will get. Now look at it. Today, so many people have lost jobs. Do you think that those companies do not have that work, or that work is also over? So that work remains, but they don't have the person. So now they need somebody who can do those work even now. But how will they do it? They need some people, or they can use the existing people. But the best scenario is that the companies, they want to get the work done, they have to first survive their own company, and they can do so by reducing their cost. But the work remains, and therefore what they can do is that they can use, maybe outsource the work. So you can get an outsource work. You can few of your friends can form a company to say that, okay, we'll provide this assistant, a specialized field of assistant, whether it is human resource, finance, or marketing, or sales, and then you do it for the organization at a much lower cost. Or the company might say, okay, let me hire students because the student cost will be much lesser than the employee, because employee may be 5 years, 10 years experience. Every year in India, you get 8 to 10% increase. And so a person cost as X becomes 2X in, say, 6 years and 7 years, or in 10 years, it becomes 4X or 3X. So I'm getting the same job done at X, which is much lower value at the start, and the youngster would come. They may not be very well aware of, but they will bring a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, and therefore they can do the work in a much better manner. So companies may also look at reducing the cost by way of hiring. So don't give up. You can still approach the companies. Either you can ask them to give you an offer, or you can offer them, okay, I will provide you these work that you were trying to you were getting it done internally with your manpower. Now I will provide you. So you become a small entrepreneur, and as an entrepreneur, you can give that solution to companies. So somebody who has lost the job, what happens to that person? Now he has lost the job. Yeah, it's very painful, but he has to think that, okay, at least the company is surviving. Suppose that the company had not survived, almost everybody would have lost a job. So I can think positive, okay, fine, I lost a job, but the company is still surviving. So if I go to another place and ask for a job, they would say, okay, this is your experience, and because of the current pandemic, this situation developed, but where you were working, or that company. So if a company closed down, it's very painful. And therefore, if you say that I was working for that company which is shut down, the likelihood of you getting an opportunity is very, very low. And therefore, you should be happy to say that, okay, the company survives, and I am free. And now I have got so much of experience. Maybe I can do the same, which I suggest for students: give solutions to not one company, but many companies, and maybe earn more than what I was earning earlier by providing those solutions to not one, but five, six companies. Now, talk about the person whose salary has been deducted by 30% and 50%. By now, you yourself must be thinking, oh, he's at least have a job. So if he feels that, okay, I'm salary is 30% less, but I can at least survive, and my cost of living has come down because I don't have to go to office every day. So there are number of expenses which has been reduced. So every situation you can find out something positive and something negative. So what it all depends upon how you are thinking. So your thought process is the most critical thing. So you can get into any tough situation and still you can survive and you can do something great. Now, I would like to move on with some of the experience of my life that you would face many challenges in life. How do you react to it? Number one, I have learned this Maha mantra called no is never final. So you make, do anything, you go anywhere and you propose something. First thing is no. There's no jobs. So you go and knock a door to say, okay, can I get a job? And they say no. And now, but no is never final. You just remember this, that it may be the first door that you knock, it is a no, but maybe you have to knock 100 doors. And in that 100 doors, maybe you get the best opportunity for you. So how does it make a difference if you knock a door and they say no, because that's a norm? So this is where you have to develop art of how to convert a no to a yes. So I give very personal example here. When I proposed to my college friend that I want to make you my life partner, guess so what was the answer? It was again a no. And then, when she said no, I asked her that why no? And that is also a technique, when you have to go into the root cause of why the no is there, then you can find a solution. So you go why, 4 times you ask a why, or 5 times you ask a why, and then you'll get to the root cause of the problem, and then you can solve it. So I proposed to her, she said no, and then I asked why, and ultimately, after many questions, it appeared that she didn't hate me. She liked me, but then she didn't want, because she said that I'm from the army background and all my family members want to get into army, and also my in-law side, they want the son-in-law should also be from the army, and I am a management student, so definitely I'm not going to become an army person. So I responded by saying that, look, I am on the lighter side, that I have done NCCC certificate, so which is also like a half military man. and I have signed a bond that if there is any war happens, then if the nation wants me, I have to go and fight. I know how to use a rifle, and I know how to fire. So I've learned all those. So I mean, in a way, I'm a half military man. Jokes apart, but I shared with her that look, you are a professional, I am a professional. If both of us become a professional, we will do very well in life. Whereas if you go and marry an army persons are posted. No offense to the army people, but they get posted at a number of places. There are family stations, non-family stations. So some places you will not get an opportunity to work. So your career would get spoiled if you get married to an army person. Maybe you will not be able to achieve the dream that you have. Not that you will not achieve anything, you will definitely achieve, but the dream that you have, potential that you have to become a big officer, and that would not get achieved. And so this hit her, and finally I got a yes after a lot of persuasion, not immediately, but a number of days. So no, when it is shared with you, you have to find out the reason of the no, and it can be converted to yes. Most of the big success in life happens through this technology of converting a no to a yes. So become a master of converting a no to a yes. Also, I would like to share that when you have this that whatever you think will become a reality, and therefore I always suggest that you should think big. Always, never think small. Okay, like today is an opportunity where the job would be much lesser, but still you can do a lot of things today and dream big. You can become an entrepreneur. You can think of an idea and you can find a solution. Even if you want to become say a finance professional, you wanted to get some experience, or you wanted to become a human resource person, you can form a team. You can join an HR firm, or you have a senior of an HR, and you can together form a company where you say, okay, all the startups, I will provide a HR solution to them. So like that, you can create. So dream big. Instead of thinking that nothing can be done, think of something big. And every problem has an opportunity, and therefore the today's problem also has a lot of opportunities. One of the biggest opportunity I would say is that when I heard that Modi ji and the Indian government has banned some of the applications which were very popular in the country because it belonged to some country, and that country, there was doubt that whether they are using this information against the own security of the nation, and that's how it was banned. But then this also, it can make you sad. Oh, I was using TikTok, I was using Hello, I was a hero, I also got a red tick, which is like you are verified. But then it went away very swiftly. So the blue tick or a red tick on all these associations, it just goes off. But then, this gives an opportunity for you to think. If you have a bend, if there are a lot of entrepreneurs that they can go and start their own apps, the Indian apps. And that is where, I saw Modi ji announcing that he will give 20 lakh rupees to the best apps that come in. So it was announced. I also read that, and it is very interesting. So all the people who are thinking on doing something, you can create an app like that. You can learn, and you can always come out with the solutions of. And maybe you can own a brand like something like Instagram, Facebook, where we're doing live session. You can create something of that in India. So it's again a great opportunity. And what one very important thing that I learned in my life is, whenever you're dreaming, I've already advised you dream big, don't dream small, but you should always put a timeline. And the timeline is very important because I have seen that whatever dreams that I put a date, it got achieved on the date or before the date. And whatever dreams that I planned, that okay, I will have this, one day I will achieve this, that never became saw the reality because I had not put a date. So for me, it is very important that whenever you are planning to do something big, create a big plan, announce, share with your friends, but put a date. By this date, you will achieve it. So as a student, I was a student like you, I had made a dream that in 8 to 10 years time, I would become general manager and a sales and marketing head. I was, uh, I was, it was very tough decision at that time when a lot of people discouraged me, but I never gave up. I always said, no, I will achieve this. Anybody who wants to know details, I've spoken about this on my TEDx talk also, so you can go to YouTube and listen to the TEDx talk. I've spoken in detail about this. So the dream that you set and the date that you achieve, it became a reality. I learned this when I said 8 to 10 years, and in the seventh year of my career, I was heading sales and marketing with Hero Motors, and then after a few years, one day I thought that okay, my dream has got achieved, but I didn't make a new dream. I just made a dream, put it on a paper, shared with my friends, my family, that I want to become a CEO, and then I did a lot of action to maybe to achieve that. But I made a dream, and that dream became a reality over a period of time. But then again, I put a date. By this date, that was 31st December 2010, I should become the CEO of a company. And so the long story, but I'll just tell you that it also got achieved before that. And in October and November, I got an offer to become a CEO at Polaris. And it happened because I feel that the technology of putting a date to my dream. And likewise, now I've become very smart. So I put whatever is very dear to me, I put a date to it. And I have some big dreams that I put a date. There's a dream of 2040 that I'll share with you later, maybe during the question answer round, uh, that really made us very big, that I want to achieve something huge for this country. Similarly, there are many small dreams that I put a date. So I know that when you put a date to a dream, it gets achieved. So please get into the habit of putting a date to your dream. Now, some other things that I learned from my life is, that it's very important. Like you create a brand. So what brand does is it gets your feelings out. Like I said, Cadbury, it gets a feeling out. You name any, like a Mercedes, you create a brand and then the image comes out. Oh, wow, that's a great car. So everywhere you create a dream, you create a dream and then you put a timeline, it becomes a reality. Similarly, whatever is the whatever plans that you have to achieve in your life, it becomes a reality, and that reality would only get converted when you have your feelings attached to it. The feelings are very important, and therefore the moment you create that brand image to around anything, and you create a feeling around it, you can put three, four words around it, and then you see that the chances of your dream becomes a reality. And also, while you are achieving those things in life, some of the basic learnings of life is respect, feeling towards yourself. Now, number one is that I should not go and say that I am weak, I am a failure. Oh, I failed in this class. How can I achieve this? Pankaj Dubey must have done it. Shiv Kira must have done it. I cannot do it because I failed in life. No, my dear friend, please remember all the great successful people. They don't talk much about the failures, but everybody has failed big time in many areas. And therefore, but the only difference is they don't disrespect themselves. They say, okay, I failed, but I will get up and be successful. All the big things in life you see, you hear, even the Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, the way that he had challenges in his studies, and then how he was stopped for making a small app, and how he created this Facebook where we are talking right now. So similarly, many times you'll face such challenges in life, but you have to always respect yourself no matter what failures you have. You must have heard about Abraham Lincoln, how many times he failed in his life. And if you have not, just Google it, and you will find that he failed in almost everything, but he won only once, and that was the biggest thing, become a president of United States of America. So these are, the situations where you face a challenge. You face a challenge in life, and you make a dream, and that dream becomes a reality because you have attached a date to the dream. But you have to, first of all, respect yourself, learn from your failures, and create a bright future for yourself. And failure is an opportunity for you to improve yourself. So to see the failure as something where you are learning. What are you learning from the failure? Don't see a failure as if that you have failed and you can't do anything. You have to dream big, and you have to learn from your failures. And if you have failed, get up and again do something. Even if you have failed twice or thrice, my father runs a service selection board training and coaching center where he actually trains people to get into the armed forces. I have seen students who have failed 15 times and 16 times got succeeded on the 17th time, and hats off to those students who do not give up even after failing for 15 times and 17 times. The problem is that we accept the failure and then we give up. So very important point is that please respect yourself, respect your feelings, and respect that you are a good person and you can do anything. If you have to achieve your big dream, you have to also respect yourself. And then respect your gurus, those who are teaching you, who are coming to teach you in your college, even your virtual sessions. You have to respect them. And the more you respect, the more you will learn. Your the biggest guru is your mother, your father. When you were very, very young, they taught you, and as you grow in life, you learn from various people. You learn from your spouse, you learn from your children, you learn from your father, grandfather, teachers. But if you respect them, then you learn more, and if you don't respect them, there is a problem in your success. And that is why I suggest that you should learn to respect not only yourself but your gurus in life. Also, it is very important, and I'm going to touch a very delicate topic, and which is to respect females. In our scriptures, it's very clearly written that, uh, if you yatra naryaste pujyante ramante tatra devta, which is like जहां पे नारी की पूजा होती है वहां पे देवता रहते हैं, यानी कि प्रॉस्पेरिटी रहती है, सक्सेस रहती है. So wherever you respect females, you will achieve more in life. And this is very important for our country. If India has to become 5 trillion or even bigger, or become number one or number two economy of the world, we will never be able to achieve if we don't respect females. So that is why it is very important that our respect to females have to be increased, and that has to start with you and me. First of all, you and I have to start respecting the females around us, and then look at how they can contribute to the growth of the country and to the growth of your organization, of your wherever you are working or you are creating your own firm. So respecting females is very important. And the reverse is also true. If you don't respect females, success will never come to you. I know people who have had, problems in life of not giving birth to a female child, and they have really suffered and become a failures in life. They've got depression, and a lot of negativity has come because they did something bad in life. And that is why if you should always welcome a female, whether a female in your house as a child, or whether a female as a wife, or in any format. The females have to be welcome in your place, and that is what will bring prosperity and success to you. In my life, I've got two daughters. Today, I live in my house where I have my mother. I lost my father, unfortunately, a couple of years back, and I live my mother, my wife, and my two daughters. So it's all female house except for me, and I see that every time that whether my wife coming to my house when I was moving in a bicycle to today when I move in the luxury cars. When my first daughter was born, I graduated from a scooter to my first car. When my second daughter was and my first daughter came, I got triple promotion within 1 year of her coming to this world. When my second daughter was born, my first dream got achieved of becoming the sales and marketing head, and a very big increment I received at that point of time. So I associate the way that I welcome my first child or the second daughter. Most of the time, the second or the third daughter is not very welcome in the Indian society because of the negative people. But the positive people, they feel very happy about it. And so again, I'll say that what's your thought? If your thought is positive, respect towards female, you will grow in life. And if your thought is negative, you will suffer. Now, these are some of the very basic things that I wanted to teach you. Also, you have to learn that what you are today is because of the thoughts that you had yesterday. What you will be tomorrow It's because of the thought you have today. Forget about what you were, where you studied, where you did not study, where you failed. Today is the right time for you to make a dream, and that will change your life completely, and that will make your dream realize. Put a timeline to it for sure. That's a learning maybe from today's session. And you would see that if just by making your thought today, of making a dream today, and putting a timeline and some of the basics that I teach you, you can change and transform your future completely. You can change the fortune of the country. You can change the name of LPU, where you can say that when you pass out and say you are LPU graduate, this is something that you can really dream and achieve. So there are many things that I can talk about, but I think I've already spent about 40 odd minutes. And so I would like to now open up to answer the questions many of you have. So would it be like, would I have to read the comments or there'll be a live question answer? I'm not so sure about it. Okay, so there is a question from Preet to say to whom the business be most responsible, to the employees, customers, or to the shareholders? Uh, yeah, I mean, you have to be to the customers, everyone actually. But if you have to really grow, first you have to have your own team, the people who are working with you, and then you go to next that your shareholders, your people who are working. But ultimate success will happen only when you are doing something special and extraordinary for your customers. But the customers cannot be made happy without your employees being happy, because if your employees are happy, then your stakeholders will be happy, and that is where the customers will be happy, and that is where you will create a brand for your own organization. Jyoti, sir, what are your values as a company leader? Jyoti, it's a very broad question. Some of which I already speak to you, but there's some things that I would like to share. Like when you're working for an organization, you should always think of the company checkbook as your personal checkbook. You should never see that, okay, this is a company checkbook, so you can give to anybody and whatever amount you think. But if it is personal, you'll be very careful. Also, to a lot of things that you dream, you know, that as a company leader, I dream for myself, I dream for my team, I dream from each of the family members who are working around, who are with me, each of the organization members. I keep talking about discussing their dream, that what they want to achieve. So Ashutosh Kumar Dubey is asking, what do you think how pandemic is affecting job culture? The situation has changed completely. You are working from home, which is something the leaders were never accepting, but now it has become a norm. I think there are a lot of organizations which have become very efficient, more efficient than when they were working in the office environment. And I've seen people, I'd like to share with you that there are few people who got promoted during this time, in the pandemic time, because of the work being done by them, the extraordinary hard work that they do. I know people who are very busy through the day, and I know people who are just relaxing, lying down. It again boils down to your own thought process. What is your thought process? What is the dream that you have? If you don't have a dream, you will just relax and lie down. But if you have a dream which has a timeline attached to it, you will have to do a number of things. So therefore, the pandemic is definitely have affected the way that you operate. But if you go to our roots of the Indian culture, everything to deal with pandemic is already shared. The way that we used to eat food, the way the kind of food that is suggested, the way that we have to look after the environment. It was never advised in our culture to eat these animals, and so it is always taught that you should respect animals. What respect? You have to respect not only every god has associated animals with it, whether it is a rat or an elephant or a lion or a snake. And we have festivals which are like Nag Panchami, where you have to feed even the snow. Forget about dogs and cows, which are the very homely. So the culture, the root culture of ours, have a solution to the current pandemic, and we should adhere to that. The cleanliness, the way that we were advised that you have to come to the house, clean your hand, wash your face, and before eating anything, do this, offer to your ancestors, then you eat something, and that food should be given to the animals. So all those things are the culture you have to go in. frankly, we are automatically going towards that. Don't eat outside food, cook home food. All that is coming forward. Jyoti is again asking, you have many questions, Jyoti. How do you manage your workload effectively? Yeah, that's a very interesting question. To manage the workload, you have to really put down things on paper that, okay, these are the things that are my priorities. This is what I need to do. And if you have right in the beginning of the day, if you're very clear of what you have to do, the chances are that you would become more efficient. And and also, it all depends upon your mindset, Jyoti, that, when you are thinking, what you are thinking will decide the success. So if you have a workload and you're thinking too much of workload, I'm very tired, then, the efficiency will reduce. If you say too much of workload, great, I have so much of work, and therefore, I mean, you should be thankful that you have so much of work. And then you are positive and you start giving output, you will become very efficient. So likewise, the challenges of life, your thought process will make a big difference. Any other question? Thank you, Alicia. She says it's truly motivational. That is what my job is. My dream is that each one of you achieve your dream. That is my dream, and I can put a timeline to those. But you have to make your own timelines, and it will be very nice if you share your timelines with me that you want to achieve something and you put a date to it. And I mean, this very simple technology has yielded me enough, and a lot of people have got also benefited. Pete says, are always customers right? No, customers are not always right. Customers, you have to educate. You have to educate, but at the same time, you don't have to become like a judge of a high court to say that a customer is right and wrong. Customer right and wrong is a perspective, actually. That something which is right can become wrong to the other person. Something which is wrong to a person can become right. I can give you a small example. If somebody is given a job, a bad job, say, it's given a job to kill something. Okay, you go and kill this person, you will get 1 lakh rupees. Now, in the court, it would be seen as this is a crime and it's a wrong thing. But if you go and ask the person, he may say, I don't have a job, I can't do anything, this is my profession. Oh, this person, anybody will get killed because somebody may accept this offer, and they will take this money and kill. So if I kill, it is not something which is a mistake. So it is like a person who's a murderer, he can also give you a way to say that I am right. So that's why, it is very important. The right and wrong, no. But yes, you have to educate the way that customer is dealing. Most of the time, the feedback is right. When he's saying he's upset, then you have to find a mechanism. How can I make the customer happy so that he is he's happy and he's satisfied? Maybe he's not right from the perspective if he's giving a feedback something which is not relevant to you, or which is, but if it is relevant and you can improve your working, definitely you should have it. Sorry, let me just. So Kritika asked that how can someone entering this career stand out from the rest of the crowd? A very interesting question. And I'll tell you that if you have to stand out of the crowd, you have to do something extra. You know, in a 100-meter race, there are winners, first, second, and third, but everybody runs 100 meters. But there are people who come first and the people who come last. What is the difference? Difference is that extra that the first, second, third person do. And that extra can be by just, because running is like for 100 meters, it is the same distance. You have 2 legs, everybody has 2 legs. But the way that you start, the way that you finish, and the way that you are moving in between can make a difference for your success. And therefore, you have to look at what is that extra that I do which will make a difference and which will make me successful. I can also give you a personal example. I was working in a company, and the vice president of the organization asked me that, Pankaj, can you do this job? And uh, and that was basically an IT related job. And I saw that I was not an IT person. I was basically a very sales and marketing area person. But I was good at making presentations, and I knew computers. So those were the times when a computer was a big thing. Today, it's like virtually everybody knows that. So I was given a task, and the boss asked me, "When can you do it?" And I said, I will give it to you tomorrow morning." And he said, "No, no, no. I asked the IT head. He said it will take 1 month. I think you have not understood." So I said, "No, sir, I have understood, but this is what you are saying." And he said, "Yeah, you have understood, but can you do it by tomorrow morning?" And it was almost the end of the day. And I said, "Yes, I will do it." Now the office hours is over. My next office day is starting at 9:30. So I can say, okay, tomorrow morning I will come and then I will take my own time and do it. But I was thinking, oh, this boss has called me, the top boss has called me. Can I do something different? So what I did, I went home. I was newly married, told my wife that this is a very important job. I think I cannot sleep tonight. And then I worked through the night. And tomorrow, next morning, when I reached there, everything that the boss was asking was there on the table. So this is something I will call as extra, going extra miles. It is not your job, but you do something extra, and that makes a difference in the organization. So the next day, my boss gave me a room which was adjacent to his. So the top boss gave a room adjacent to his room. Pankaj, you sit here and do job for me. So this is what makes and differentiates you from others, from the crowd. So then you have Ashutosh asking again, what is the backup plan of your company after this major crisis? Oh, I made this company during the major crisis only. So there is all plans only. There is no backup plan. The plan is there to make it successful, to support all the companies who are coming to India, and also the startup companies. How do I support them? And so there's a huge task ahead of us. So I don't see that there is any backup plan needs to be made under the current circumstances. Preet is also asking, what do you think about cartels? Yeah, cartels are always there. So again, you are talking about something which is there in almost all organizations, and how do you deal with it will decide. But then your thought process is you want to grow in life. You don't have to become a cartel, X cartel, or a Y cartel team member, and therefore you should be thinking only about yourself and your dream and act accordingly. Aman is asking, what do you think about stock market trading? Should I start now as a student? Oh, yes, I would like to. I'm actually giving a lecture on the finance management next week to Delhi University students. Good that you asked this question, Aman. Uh, the stock market, I think, uh, if you go and learn from the big investors, they would always tell you that buy when there is, a dip. And the current situation with the pandemic, one of my very big, advisors, stock advisor in the country, is a very good friend, Mr. Maheshwari. He called me. He called me and he said, Pankaj, and he actually gave an interview in, I think, some leading publication also. And he said, Pankaj, this is the perfect time to buy, March. I either you will survive, then you will see huge money, and if you die, anyway, your money lying in your account is of no use. And he said that please invest right now. And I can see that it's already about 40 to 50% up from March to July, and most of the stocks, not everyone. Some have doubled also. And therefore, this is a very good time for you to invest. My advice to you would be pick up some of the leading companies, and the companies that you use. Don't buy a hearsay that the companies that you've never heard, because most of the time that you hear on just spur of the moment, buy this stock right now, it is going to go 20% up, it ends up that you lose your money. So what you have to do is that you have to buy stocks. Maybe you can do a SIP, like systematic investment plan. Every month you buy you choose 5, 10 companies which are doing very well. Say which bank that you deposit your money. HDFC Bank, buy that. Which toothpaste you used, Colgate Palmolive, buy that. So whatever you're using, you are associated with. Which bike do you ride? Bajaj, okay, buy that stock. Hero, buy that stock. Whatever you're using, because then you will get associated with the brand and you will know everything about the brand and you will never lose money. But if you invest into companies by hearsay or by just saying that this company is going to go 3 times, 4 times, most of the time it's a trap, and you lose money. So don't get into that. Just think about companies that you are really using in your daily life. Invest there and you'll be making a lot of money. Yeah, Silky says never give up, you will surely succeed. Yeah, definitely, Silky. I completely agree with you. No is never final and never give up. Your failure is an opportunity for you to learn and improve. Shubhangi says that she has heard the TEDx session. I'm glad that you've heard this, and I will suggest others also. There are two of them, so you please go through that, and probably you will learn something from there as well. And the best thing about TEDx is that it's not very long. It's like 17, 18 minutes, so you can't go beyond that as per the format. Let me see if there are more questions. Kinshuk is asking, what are some good negotiation tactics? Uh, negotiation tactics, you have to really go in depth to understand the real requirement. And once you know that what is the exact requirement, you would be able to do good negotiation. Negotiation is understanding the other person as well as looking at opportunities. So some of the tricks that I've already taught today is like no is never final. If the person you're negotiating, he says no, then you can just go and ask, why no? Sir, what is the problem in this proposition that I'm giving? He may say X, Y, Z, and first no, and you give up, it's over. But you go to 5, 6 times of asking him why, so he'll say X, then you say so why X, he say Y, you say Y, he says Z, you say why Z, maybe he says something else, and probably the fifth and sixth you get to the root cause, and if you have a solution, you would be successful. So negotiation is all about giving time and staying with it and trying to get to the root cause of how the solution can be found, and you will be able to do it. Ashutosh is saying that if you have 10,000 to invest, what would you do at this particular time of crisis? I'm thinking that right now the best time to invest is in pharma companies. Also, many of them have already gone high, so you have to really do some studies. But if I have to invest $10,000, I have invested into a solar company called Adani Green. I am looking at investing into a company called Larsen and Toubro because I see a lot of construction activity going to take place in the country, and this is going to help them. I use HDFC Bank, so I buy HDFC. And likewise, if I have to buy an auto stock, probably I will buy a Royal Enfield or that is Eicher or a Bajaj Auto. So, uh, so every field that I associate with, I will buy the stock which is doing very well. And I will also check the history of the stock, how much it has appreciated. Maybe I'll not invest everything right now. I'll keep on waiting. I'll maybe invest 30, 40% right now, and then I'll invest over a period of time because there's also a story moving around that the second round of virus is coming. So I haven't seen it anywhere, but there's a fear has been created. US market, this was created, and then everywhere people are talking about, but the market is really growing every day. But if it all happens, you should have some money to buy because the best time to buy is when everybody is flat. And most of the time, what happens is that you invest everything upfront, and therefore, when there's a cost has come down, you don't have money to buy. So you have to look at that as well. Bhang is also asking post COVID 19, would the corporate culture be more technology driven or man driven? The corporate culture will always be driven by man, but technology will play a more vital role now. You can see that you can't avoid the technology today. Technology definitely, but man will always be there. The requirement of a human mind will always be there. There are a lot of companies which are basically making it with robots on it, but even to run a robot, you need a people. So ultimately, it is the man, the people behind which makes a success or failure. Machine is just another tool, and so technology definitely is going to increase further from now. So let me see if there are no more questions. Then, yeah, Kinshuk is asking, what experience have you had with colleagues from abroad? Yeah, very nice question. So I have had very nice experience of working with Germans, working with Japanese, with Yamaha. Then I worked with Chinese, Taiwanese when I launched the Intex mobile phones and their IT division. And also I worked with Americans for very long. And of course, I've been in India, born and brought up, so I've always associated. So every uh, type of people have, an image of for me. And and therefore I have had some great experience, great learning from everywhere. So it is like think of a German. They are very meticulous, but they are very lean in terms of managing things. uh, when you talk of Japanese, they are meticulous in the way that they work, and they are so meticulous that sometimes it is frustrating that if you have to call a meeting, like today I had an interaction at 11 o'clock, and 10:30 we were interacting with the management and some students who helped me out how to conduct this training. If it was a Japanese, this would start at least a month before, and they would go into the details and they'll say, okay, how will you do and all that. So it is very good. So when you're using a platform, it is very efficient. But then they do a lot of time preparing. So that is the Japanese way of functioning. Chinese are very, very efficient. They are very good in managing technology, and they are very aggressive in their approach for the future. So you learn from them. I mean, during this pandemic, the way that the Chinese have functioned is remarkable. I mean, you can also learn the entire world suffered, but they managed it so well to control the spread of coronavirus in their own country. Similarly, Americans, they are very nice people. They look hamisha. They are always looking big pictures in mind. They are always looking at big things. They don't worry about small matters. But what they matter is like if they have to make a business plan, they will say, okay, what is the top line? What is the bottom line? The way that you have to manage, you decide yourself. They are not interested in day-to-day monitoring. They're interested in what you deliver as a team member. So there are various people, and all of them are great people. I've learned when I've spent time with these various cultures, I realized that the basic human being is the same. Some of the cultures that I saw in US are so similar to the Indian culture. Some of the European culture are so similar to the Indian culture, and I mean I can talk about it for hours. But I mean you have the the global community. You have everywhere to learn something or the other. Oh, Diksha has a very interesting question. Why do you feel some businesses fail? Most of the time, they commit the mistakes in basics. Most of the time, they get wrong people. The basics are something, the common sense is not very common. Sometimes the business is great, but the timing is not correct. So the businesses fail because of this, but I think most of the time it is because of the right set of people who are there in the business. They lead to failure. So you give a good team a good project, they will make it successful. You give a good project to a not so good team, they will spoil it. So the business fail mostly because of timing, of course, because the situation changes. Now, if I have to make, I mean, if I'm in today's circumstances, I'm thinking of making a product which is a bullock cart or a car or an electric car or a car which runs on a hydrogen cell or a car which runs on something which is a fuel made in India, which is another question that I always ponder. And in fact, I asked Shankaracharya in Lovely Professional University this question, that what is the fuel used in Pushpak Viman, which was being used by Ravan to take Sita ji from India to Sri Lanka? So what fuel was used? So if you find that fuel, probably the business can become successful. If you use some other, I mean, not just that business was successful, India would become prosperous again if we can find that answer and we can make it commercial. So businesses succeed because of the timing, because of the future. All the businesses that do well is because they are able to foresee the future very well. All the people who make it successful are that. And the businesses that fail is something where you see, oh, past this is great, this has been very successful, future also will be great, but future things changes, it doesn't become successful. So I think it's all in the thought process, and the team that leads the business decides the success or the failure. Kritika has a very interesting question. What advice would you give to your younger self? Yeah, that's a very difficult question, but I would say that yes, a lot of things that I learned from my corporate life, or the brands and all. If I had learned it 30 years back, or I would pick these things up and then started from very early in life. Then the situation would have been even far better than what I have been able to achieve in my life. So uh, I mean, I basically shared some of the root mantras of learning. One of the uh, few of the things that I felt that very critical and very important for the success I shared. I learned it over the years. I would part that to my younger self, all those much in advance. Also, I would like to share one very interesting thing is because of the failure, because of the pressures of the surrounding, because of the challenges that you face, uh, you know, that people will talk ill. No matter what, I say that you have to think positive. The human mind is designed in a way that you see the negative first. So you'll see negative first. You have to train yourself to see positive, and therefore the humanity as such, the large population would still see negative things first, and they may stay with negativity. And so those people will talk negative about you behind your back, in front of you. You have to just ignore those advices if it is bad. First of all, you have to whatever feedback is received, you have to evaluate whether it is right or wrong. If it is right, then change yourself. If it is wrong, then you have to amend. You have to just ignore those people. And in that, there is this song Kishore Kumar ka, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना, कुछ रीत जगत की ऐसी है सीता भी यहाँ बदनाम हुई. So if people talk ill about you, me, it is absolutely normal for the people to talk. You have to just equate them with somebody like that Dhobi who questioned Sita ji. So you don't have to worry about the surroundings, the criticism that you are given. Many times it bogs you down. Especially, I would like to say that the females in the country, they suffer a lot in India. Not just in India, abroad also, but then in the evolved society, especially I've seen in America and some of the other European countries where the participation of females have really increased. It has really comparatively less, but they always face the challenge. So the females have to really learn this trick that कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना, and maintain your optimism, and stay away from negative people and do the best, and realize your dream. I think we have spent more than 1 hour 10-15 minutes. So would like to close, and thank you all. Thank you the team of the entire team of Lovely Professional University. I would like to thank Rashmi Mittal ma'am, who is very nice person, and I whenever I have been to LPU, she has personally come and thank me for what I have done for you all. And I feel very happy every time interacting with the lovely professional university. And I would also like to thank the team, Shubhangi and the other members there at the strategic committee who really organized this event. It's really nice for your team to interact to organize an interaction like this, which can help you realize your dream. Best of luck. Do your best, and uh, and if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to reach out to me on the social media. I am available on almost all platforms which are working right now. And you can type Pankaj Dubey or Pankaj Dubey 1967, and you will find me almost every platform. And if you have any further advice, any questions, uh, reach out to me, and I will find time to respond to you. Um, Make your dreams, put your timelines, and achieve your big dreams, and keep sharing so that I speak to more and more audience across the world where everybody starts realizing the dream and the world becomes a great place to live. Thank you, and bye bye.